You are listening and watching to a very special podcast. Here we have more on Benjamin Hallows in Phenomenon Serendipity 3. Enjoy! Another day. Ben was taking a walk once again, but it seemed his delusions were getting the best of him. He had one delusion, where he was just sitting in the chair as he saw body parts surrounding him. He sat there until he heard a voice say, "Ben, please, tell me how you feel." Ben looked up, and when he tried opening his mouth, blood and eyes and teeth fell out. Ben awoke from his hallucination. In another one, he was just walking down the street when he saw something in the window. It looked like a family portrait, smiles and all. Ben looked through the glass. However, in the reflection, he could see a familiar figure. "Benjamin." He whirled around and he said, "Ophelia? Mother?" That's when, from behind in the window, he thought he could see something of a monster reaching out towards Ben. Ben screamed and he tried getting away, but the appendages grabbed him and pulled him in. Ben was screaming, "No, no!" he cried. Everyone stared at him in shock. Ben realized this and managed to compose himself before walking away, ignoring all the whispers and the weird glances from others. However, he somehow had a nightmarish delusion. It started off innocent with him being in some sort of happy place, but when he looked up, he saw that the nightmare was beginning. All of a sudden, his personal demons were coming to life, but for some reason, Ben had some sort of scalpel in his hand, and he uses it to stab at his personal demons, ripping them apart. Then he looked up and he had a menacing smile to his face. Ben was starting to believe he was going crazy, so he went back home. Well, before he did, he was passing by a closed park. However, he heard a small, empty voice say, "Help me." He looked around. "Hello? Is someone there?" he called out. "Help me," the small voice said. Ben looked around. There he saw someone on the ground. His eyes bulged in terror. He recognized it. It was that little girl from the park. He soon went over to the little girl, picked her up and said, "Don't worry, I'm going to help you." He rushed her back to his house. He burst through the front doors. Taylor and Beauty were startled by this. They were even more surprised to see the dying little girl there. "You have to help her. We have to help her now." So Ben and Taylor did their best to revive her. Beauty was trying to calm her down, but the little girl kept crying and screaming in pain. Ben was also in pain, but he managed to stay focused. "I'm going to help you, I promise." But the little girl said, "Uncle Ernie, why? Why didn't you say I wasn't playing the game right? Why?" She wept. Ben looked at her. "What did you say?" "He couldn't help himself," he said. "He'll never do it again," he said, "but he kept hurting me." The little girl said, crying. Ben was angered. He said, "No, don't die on me. You want to get back at the bastard? I can help you," he said. "It hurts. It hurts. Help me." "Taylor, I'm doing the best I can, but she's beyond saving," Taylor said. "What do you mean?" "No, please, please," Ben said. In his mind, he thought about his little brother, his siblings, his mother. He was trying to make sure this never happened again. But alas, the little girl screamed. She succumbed to her wounds and she died. Ben was devastated. But then he remembered the serum, the needle. He wiped his eyes, and with great anger and great force, he then used the serum and injected it into the little girl. The little girl came back to life as an infestation. Once she realized her new life, she decided to get her revenge on her abusive uncle. The little girl was known to be Willow. Willow used to be that happy little girl that Ben came across, until her Uncle Ernie came along and somehow abused her, violated her, and Willow's parents had no idea. They only saw the good-natured man of Uncle Ernie, of course. Ben was upset. How could the parents not even know about this? Idiots. Parents really need to listen to their children more. It is unacceptable. Damn it, Ben said. However, Ben turned to Willow and said, "Now you are part of me. I will keep you safe. I'm not going to let anyone hurt you again. Now you're my servant, and I will treat you well. I'll treat you as if you were my own. I promise you," Ben said. The little girl nodded. "Okay, thank you," Willow said. Benjamin turned to Beauty and said, "Keep a good eye on her." "Yes, Master," Beauty said. Ben got up, and he managed to do a bit of research. The parents of Willow were devastated. They loved their daughter so much. However, Ben was still bitter about the fact that they could have helped her. They could have realized it was the uncle, but the uncle was just too innocent, too manipulative. He was too good trying to cover it up. That is what made Ben upset. I will not tolerate with the fact that this bastard got away with it. He must be stopped once and for all, Ben said with gritted teeth. Taylor looked at him with concern. Are you sure that's a good idea? Taylor said. Do you even have any other ideas? He then said to him, you have the chance to be part of something. Of what? Abusing your own people, being electrocuted, chased by monsters, and also hunted down by the police. Well, the police aren't even working on it. They're just useless. They can't even come and catch me. And of course, if you're going to concentrate on the dark side, Ben said, I could have been killed with that monster that came to life. It looked like it had been possessed. Of course it had been. Look, we're going to do our best to stop whatever it takes. I've done this before. I've seen a lot of this. I didn't want to take greatly into these precautions. I don't care if I get in trouble, or, heaven forbid, I wouldn't even go this far. Like there's any other heaven. If there was a heaven, if my family would be there, would I ever be able to enter?